You know, I never keep my ship names document handy. I should really be better on that one. There'll be people that love to watch for Europa, for whatever maddening reason, and they're gonna be wondering what in the world is happening here. Well, don't worry. Alternatively, worry lots if you have an addictive personality, or if you really like spreadsheets. If Twitch is actually working for a change, the ship names link should be in the title. But we're gonna load into Marvin von Riga's Perfect Hansa. It's not perfect yet, but we'll get there. Okay, now I need to remind myself with what's going on. Also, why in the world does this guy still have demands? I did fix everything, right? I mean, this isn't a case of me having lost my saves. I certainly hope not, but I can't even remember the last thing I did when I was playing before. Okay, let's get a recap of what's going on. The Hansa is almost in good equilibrium for 10,000 people everywhere, except for Haarlem, of course, which we keep maxed out. This is what all cities should look like. Utterly full. People bursting when it comes to occupancy. That's good. Haarlem will be completely full in about 2,500 people's time. Produces all the goods that I had calculated for it. It does sheep, it does clay, it does wood, and it does all of the fish for the Hansa right now. I say right now because our demands are going to go sky high. Skiff says, off-topic observation, one thing I love about EU4/Paradox Games is that they always encourage me to read more. I would never have thought about picking up Alan Brooks' diaries without Hoi 4. In that case, here's another reading suggestion for the chat / for you to ignore. Well, cheers, Skiff. But yes, I don't think the games are really there to teach you, but they're there to inspire you to go and teach yourself. We do feel that we can have an obligation to represent things well. Or maybe that's just me. When I talk here, I always talk about just me. I would never dream of doing official stances for the company when doing my stream. Alright. Yeah, Jero, and that's me also waiting for the viewership to drop, because the idea of lots of people watching Patrician continues to intimidate me in ways that I should speak to professionals about. Okay, speaking of things that professionals get involved with, why don't we bring up something big? Huh, that's funny. Hold that thought. I might be better just to jump into the bloody thing when my spreadsheets show up here. Potentially. Let's get this sorted out. Yeah, because looking at that game was just way too much work, right? Why does the sound feel so high as well? Or is it just me that's quiet? I understand nothing. Okay, so I've done a lot of humming and hoeing around with my spreadsheeties, but I was trying to look at maximum hypothetical Hansa here. Now let's have a look at our Kneading production. I have decided that I will marry the inland provinces of Minden, Erfurt, Posen, Breslau, Warsaw, Kaunas and Berlin into the perfect Hansa. Now it might probably drive me crazy because princes still attack you even though they're at 100% happiness and you buy all the lands, but still I don't think I can truly say I'm done with this game until everywhere in the Hansa is married into my perfect Hansa. So I've tried to keep it simple. All the inland places produce exactly one good. So Minden on the tools, Erfurt on the metal, Warsaw on the salt, Berlin also on the tools, but Berlin also doing a tiny bit of beer, or was it cloth, just because I need to offset other industries. Yeah, it was cloth. Cheese from Kaunas, which is great, it's got low tonnage, and it feeds us all. And then loads of wine from our other players, that's going to be good. And yeah, I'm watching, it's like how to lose 100 people's interest in 1 minute. Seems to have worked pretty well. What else do I have to concern myself with? Well, some of these size estimates I picked right out of thin air. I have no idea how many people fit in Berlin, Breslau, and Posen, and I honestly have doubts about the other ones. I'm just going by numbers that I found online for those. What I really want to do in game is build them up so I can figure that out for myself. But we still had our original numbers that I'm still kind of working with, so I want to make sure that this part is completely done. All of these guys should be green before I think about building up further. However, I still want to actually establish myself in these grey areas, which are the inland cities. so that I can start building them up and get a feel for it. Nonetheless, this one should be adhered to for now, and for the most part it is. There are only a couple that we really need to look at. 3 in fact: Cologne, Bremen and Thorn. Now if we throw this spreadsheet to the side, that means we can actually have a look at them. We're always short on wood, and there is going to be some tweaking I need to do, quite a lot of tweaking. Still, Thorn, what is wrong with you? 10,000 people, that's fine. Population's fine as well, so what is not good here? I mean, we're just doing loads of wineries, I don't see any problems here. Yeah, you need goodies, but who doesn't at this stage? Holy cow, Jake, this spreadsheet is crazy impressive. I couldn't imagine putting that much effort into a game, but I admire it a lot. Do you plan this in depth often? No. When I used to do loads of exploits for Europa, the most I had was Notepad, and I just wrote like vague ideas to myself, like, hey, this mission has very lazy triggers, maybe we can use it again and again, stuff like that. And then the rest would go on inside the head. But I'm not German enough for all of this game to happen inside my head. So what do I need to do? There's a lot of things I need to do. Right, Thorn needs... what I need to do is stop typing things over this. Thorn needs building materials, but well, actually I could probably go with that right now. I need to look at Cologne and Bremen. So we'll actually cast our eyes over at Cologne. The population stands to increase a lot. The wall is almost done, and when it is, I desperately need to build more houses because we are at max capacity. Otherwise, I've built all my beekeepers, so that's the thing. I need to look at the wall in about a month or two. And then there's Bremen. Boy, has Bremen been a concern for us. They are also working on the walls. The walls have been such a pain in the bum for us. Still, once it is, I will just go building crazy. Everywhere else, I really just need to work through and make sure that everything is as it should be. Now, one of the problems I have is that I will not get these fully staffed up because the AI still employ a lot of people. And there's not a whole lot I can do about that other than chance myself with the rare case of getting the revolt here. But what I can do is flood the markets with the respective goods. You'll get various mileage on that. You have to persist with it for a long time to actually run the AI out of business. It's probably better just to buy up their stuff. So I will likely get to that. So I'm going to go through these on my spreadsheet, which I can bump up right now, and just kind of green them off to say I've done as much as I'm willing to do to call it done. So London is done. If I look over at Bruges, and again we'll probably want to kill the spreadsheet here for a sec. Bruges has great housing occupancy, and it looks like I have everything built here. Well, actually no, I got 100 smelters, which is what I need, sure, but you know, 30 enemy businesses are eating up a lot of my people there, or at least a lot of the people that I could be having. Again, little I can do other than buy them up myself, and those are expensive. Now I could just wait out and get loads of money, and that would be okay. The fact that the houses are not built is not a big deal. Those goods will be brought around. So Bruges, I can also say, is done to the point where I care about it enough. So pop off. Yeah, there we go. Bruges also green. I'm going to work my way down these, and then things are going to get complicated. But don't worry about that. You know, someday I hope that I can be my own level of that Panic Mario 64 guy, where we start having theme of Patrician playing. It's like, but before we start dealing with this production chain, I've got to talk about parallel cities. Would be nice, but I doubt we'll ever get that far. Jake, build wagons in every town that's connected to the roads. That's a good idea, and it's something I want to do. They often cost goods that I don't have, but you make a good point. We're going to need them, and we're going to need them, well, now, really. There's no good reason not to build like 20 of them everywhere. It's not like I don't have the money right now. And I don't think anybody else orders them. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, done. Maybe I should work through them as I go through this list. Groningen is another one that is not greened off. Why is that? Well, looking at it, it's got great occupancy. I've built 131 things here, and it's meant to have 50 grain and 50 tools. Well, at the moment that doesn't look like 50 grain. And that doesn't look like 50 tools. That's a bit of an issue. But it has all the all the people in that I could ask for. So I'm going to pop in the old autoclicker.exe. I'm going to fire everybody. Well, first I'm going to make sure that they're not in some kind of state of emergency, because that would kill everybody. And we've done that plenty of times. So yeah, this is what we do. We kill Abdi, and then we put everything back up to 100% here. And then they should be split evenly the next day. I'm going to check on that. 1123, 702. Okay, so they're not split evenly. I could either demolish some grain farms, or I could push this down just right. I'm looking for the same amount of people in both of these. 1,000, 825, 800. Not a fan of that. Alright, how about we do it another way? I'll kill everybody. And then I will have most of them go into you. I mean, we've got 6,700 people here, but you can quarter that. 1,000 and 2, 3, yeah, which should be good. I shouldn't have killed people at least. Okay, well I maybe killed some people, but they'll be back. 700 and something, 900 and something else. So pop you right back up, drop you down just a little. Shoot, that was a little too much. Whatever, grain's more important than smithing. I'm okay with that. Difficult to balance out when you don't have total control. Nonetheless, I'm going to say that Flynn again is done. These numbers will never be in perfect equilibrium, but it's whatever works here. Nimwegen is a painful one because it's inland. Population is good. Businesses are good. Hemp production as it should be. And it's not mounting up to the point where it's not going over to Haarlem, which is also nice. Jake Smithy at 80%. Did I leave it at 80% in Groningen? That would be bad. No, it's at 100%. What are you talking about? I knew what I was doing. So Nimwegen, I find it hard to say it's anything other than done. I mean, sure, I don't have everything, but again, I would have to buy up the enemy. Oh, well, that's a problem. Nimwegen's housing occupancy is way too high, and that is one of the things I need to check everywhere I go, because the AI building houses, it gets on my trotters. Don't know what that means, but I don't like it. Again, I don't really care if I have the building materials or not. It's just that this works out. You know what's really going to be not fun? Building all this for everywhere. Because it's got to be done. I mean, you could rely on the AI building houses, but he would build them inefficiently, and that is verboten. Nimwegen has no minister. They are not about to build a minister, so I'm happy enough to leave it as is, even if they're desperate for more things. Also, what's a shipyard if it's not building me loads of... Well, I guess couriers will have to do here. Money might actually become an issue soon, but that's okay. I can always press spacebar to make money. So Nimwegen looks well enough done. I'm going to green it off on my list. And there's only 33 coastal cities, so this won't take too long. Cologne I know will take a long time. I need that wall to be finished. Same with Bremen, so we move over to Hamburg. Hamburg has high population, could get higher. That's a problem. So I need to artificially keep it down. I do keep it down here by having you at about 70% production, which is not good. It means the enemy gets plenty of people coming in. Does that mean... Yeah, okay. I killed people. That's fine though. 70 keeps it at a manageable level. It's a shame he has all these salters. Again, I'd love to just buy them and destroy them, but that would cost me about 30 million for all of them. And then there's the fields. He does not want to sell his fields. But again, the housing occupancy looks fine. I can say that this place is done. So, oh well, Hamburg was already in green. How about that? Then there's Lubeck. Lubeck is growing too big for its breeches. But it's kind of capped here, because I keep you on 80%. If I push you further down, actually that's fine as well. It's not enough honey for everything that I need, but it will keep the population at this nice level. Do I have my people mover to move people? mover, the hurricane, is over in Oslo. Didn't I kill a lot of people in Oslo before? Well, it doesn't matter. In any case, I want you over in Lubeck to pick up these extra folk, because there's no point letting them go to waste. Heck, I could take a bit more if you got them. Alright, so once again, I kill off these people, and then the people mover goes to the tavern and just collect. Oh, the people mover is pretty much full. That's really funny. Okay, well that's good. It means I have people that I can just throw around whenever I want. Nonetheless, Lubeck is as done as I can expect it to be done, and I have the population relatively capped, so that's why it goes off in green. Now, Rostock. Rostock's been a problem for me because the population is way high. However, I've desperately needed extra grain right now because my people have been starving, so I haven't been too bothered about that. Nonetheless, don't want it to get too high. Not a problem though, I can revisit this place. I will keep it in red, however, to acknowledge the fact that it's a bit high. I just need that grain to flow, otherwise we face starvation. Take Gothenburg for example, not enough grain. They have fish, thankfully. They have meat, thankfully. They have cheese, again, thankfully. But it makes me wonder how much grain I gotta shift before people stop being so starving. Oslo's lacking it. Malmö could certainly have more. So does my grain train for the center actually supply enough grain? That's my question. So I go to grain. You are the center guy. No, you're the western guy. You're also western. You're eastern. The Loads of Dosh does the center. And I don't think you have enough ships on you. So I'm going to make you a lot bigger to service the center. Because it takes you 13 days, and this is why I have my Hanseatic needs calculation for population. So let's take the center here, for example. It has, okay, you can't see this. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cities. Let's just assume they're all at 10,000 population. We'll look back to our P4 spreadsheet. I'm going to use the fluid comparison for this. What did I say? 8 of them? So let's say we have 80,000 people. Their 10-day demand for grain is 2,400. But I mean, it takes us 13 days, so let's just say it's 15 to round up nicely, which means we essentially need to take into consideration about 120,000 people, and then suddenly the demand for grain becomes 3,662. It's good to round up a bit because that takes into consideration times where the fleet has to stop for repairs. So now when I look at my grain center guy, that's Grain Alborg the Bane. Yeah, are you center guy? No, you're west. This guy, 3,270. I already rounded up, so I'm confident that that will keep things flowing nicely. For now. Wasn't that educational? Okay, so looking back to it, when I actually look at the cities here, Rostock I'm going to accept is overstocked, but it's a good place to abduct people from. Then there's Rippen. I don't like Rippen. I have never liked Rippen, but the housing occupancy is okay. It's meant to produce pelts and nothing but, essentially. Sadly, they're very lowly stocked because the enemy has so many hunting lodges that I would love to buy and destroy. But for that, I mean, really the best way to do that is to flood the market of pelts. And that is pitch, not pelts. But it would be difficult to do that. We produce pelts here very slowly. And they're missing raw materials for it. What are you missing here? The answer is you don't get enough metal goods here. That is something I need to deal with. Alborg does not quite have enough metal goods flowing in. But I mean, this is something that I assume will sort itself out in time. But nonetheless, I can say that Rippen is as done as I'm willing to say that it's done. Flensburg's another one, funnily enough, talking about metal goods. I think you have smithies, yes. You have hunting lodges. It's all looking good. The only thing that doesn't look good is my enemy here, who has a couple of worker houses, and that's about it. Just houses here, which makes me wonder why we're so low. Okay, it's because I have 51 of you and 50 of you. So that actually annoys me to the point where I'm going to demolish you. And then everything should be balanced out. Great, Flensburg is actually perfect. As long as I don't build a minister here, it will remain perfect. However, I worry slightly that my enemy is going to build a build business here. And since I really don't like that, I'm going to build 3 clay pits. And then I will tell them not to have any workers. Or I could probably just have them and they won't get workers anyway. But the point is, I'm pretty sure that stops the AI building more working buildings. So Flensburg is done. Aalborg I've already ticked off as being done, but I want to stop in by it. This is our hub city. Spoiler alert, might not remain that way. It produces the grain that we need. I would love it if I could buy my competitor out of business for all these hunting lodges. But the best way I could do that is just flood the market here with pelts consistently. I would stop pelts from really going anywhere, but at least he would burn down these hunting lodges. To that extent, I'm tempted to actually do that. I mean, the sooner I do it, the better. I could do the same with hemp and grain, assuming I have enough to... Okay, well, grain is more of a hard sell here. How about hemp? How could it come to pass that I have to tear down one of my own businesses? Alright, you know what? I am kind of excited at the prospect of doing that. I just wanted to tear down his businesses. So, administrator, sell these goods until we barely have any for as little money as you can. Do it for that and that. And when it comes to buying them, just don't buy it. Do not, please. I can fix those later. But I just want to tear I want my opponent to tear down these businesses, because that'll have me more people producing hemp, more people producing grain. And it's just generally good for me. I think he's already torn down some businesses here that I can... no? Oh, maybe I thought he'd built torn down some stuff there. Also, we have a shipyard that is not producing ships. That is unforgivable. I always need a ton of cogs. And hotkeys, I want them. Okay, so with Aalborg done, next up is Neffdorf. Neffdorf? Whatever it is, it's Danish, so we shouldn't worry too much. Only a couple of carvels, let's change that. You always want more carvels, they are the ultimate ship. So Neffdorf is my city, which means I control a lot of the stuff here. They're wealthy and they produce... I don't like the numbers here. I don't like them at all. 67 pelts. Good, fine. 14 metal. That is not 14 metal by any stretch of the imagination. 19 hemp. Again, that's not 19 hemp by any stretch of the imagination. But it should be 20 times 25 workers there. Roughly. I mean, it ain't perfect, but I'm willing to believe in this. Also, mead is meant to be absolutely none, so I'm getting rid of you. Should force the workers into other things. There we go. We're looking a lot better on the everything else. That's good. So yes, Neffdorf is done and dusted, and it's all ready for me to bulk up some more. So I want to come back to, we'll take a bit of a pause in going through these places. I want to come back to my beautiful spreadsheet here. And so we've been working through these, they're looking great. But I mean, take Neffdorf for example. It was kind of the jack of all trades here. But then you look at somewhere like Aalborg, which is straight up grain. When I go to the perfect Hansa, like perfect cell, things scale up quite a lot. So Aalborg are suddenly doing 295 grain, whilst Neffdorf bulk up on all their things there as well. Wherever possible, I want one city to produce one good, but that's just not possible to have with this setup. If it is, please tell me, because I have no idea how to set it out. This was as efficient as I could make it, and it still has ugly things like Rostock doing 16 clay, or Thorn doing 62 grain. Still, I did the best I could. Jake, can you see any of Rostov's lands in the eastern borders of Patrician 4 map? Any nearby recognizable landmarks? Let's get back to where I was on the list. Kill it, and... I mean, the projection is very dissimilar. It's hard for me to say. Have we got any Russians around who could make it out? It'd suck to miss out on this beautiful book. Wow, Good stuff. Would you ever want to represent Patrician 4 as a constrained optimization problem, or are you enjoying yourself too much as it is? Represent it? I mean, I am kind of enjoying myself in strange ways here. Alright, I need to get back to my list here. Stavanger and Bergen I've apparently ticked off as green already. I could at least stop in by them. Hello Bergen. No, you're not Bergen, you're Stavanger. Still check on you though. Stock farm's looking good. Salt supply is very much not, so I need to deal with salt. I also need to deal with the fact that you're not making me 1,000,000 carvels. Don't know why the salt is so down. Oh wow, I just ran out of money. That's not good. Means if I want to build anything, then we are toast. But there was also Bergen, right? I mean, Bergen's been good from the start, and they never did build a minister, which is good. I put the out of wall thing here, but I doubt I'm going to need it. Bergen is meant to be 66 mead, 34 meat. We've got 38 meat. And we're about 100 below that, so the rest should be on mead, right? Not salt, but mead. Look at that. They don't get honey, and they don't get salt, they don't get honey. So Bergen is a complete waste of time right now. That means the administrator really needs to buy up metric bollock load more salt and tons of honey. I mean, I probably just never got around to configuring that. Salt and honey. Tell me how you're doing on that, Alberg. I know I had way too much salt before, now we have practically none. When it comes to honey, also not looking so good. Guess we just don't get enough of that stuff going around. That's a shame, because it's more important for these guys to get that stuff. But what can you do? Nonetheless, you are done. Then there's Oslo, who is also done when it comes to population. But it's way overstocked, and I just spent all my money. I don't want to unspend all my money, but okay, you only get half of it back. Sod that, I'm pressing spacebar and making loads of money. Thanks for the loads of money. Still, Oslo having way too many houses is an issue because the AI builds them in these ugly, ugly ways. So, I do what I can to solve the issue. What the heck is this? Could I just... No, I can't just. And look at this horror, this affront to efficient city building. Funny the different stances I take, because when I play Banished, it's anything but efficiency's game. Efficiency takes a back row. Very far back row. Alright, still too much there. Give me the money, game. Thanks for the money, game. Just press spacebar, make money. It's a good life. Let's not have them here. It's getting dangerously close to my meat. Don't want to do it like that. That's a bit inefficient, but I don't think I can do it another way. Ah. No, better than nothing. It's like Mighty Number 9. There we go. Now Oslo is looking a lot more done. Got all this meat, no salt for it, which is a damn shame. And Oslo is meant to have 83 meat factories. I got 84. And 17 salt factories. Are these my salts? Where are my salters? There must be somewhere. I wouldn't have all these buildings if I... Ah, okay, here they are. And the reason they're not working is lack of wood. So the lack of wood is causing a lack of salt, which is causing a lack of meat. And Haarlem is not feeling the salt push yet, but they probably will. So I need to get that wood out there. That probably tells me places like Boston, which is meant to give me a ton of salt. I think they are, but they are short on wood, something rotten, so that wood needs to flow a lot more. Okay, but regardless of lack of supplies, Oslo is done, so I'm greening them off of my list. Then there is Stockholm, which I think is Mead City. Looks like it. I built mead everywhere here. Loads of them. Why did I build so many of them? Well, regardless, they are built. They have their honey. So Stockholm is... It also has enough houses. So I'm going to say Stockholm is done.